is the synchronicity of what is happening right now, finding its way to your life at just this moment. There are no coincidences in the universe, only convergences of will, intent, and experience. Neil Walsh. Listen now.
Hey, you're listening to Mystic Dummies. This is your host, Jennifer.
And this is Siona.
This podcast is where we bring our life experiences, have conversations, and shine a light upon everyday mysteries.
From mysteries of this world to the mysteries of ourselves, we talk about it all.
If you are looking for a sign, this is it. Tune in to Mystic Dummies every week right here. This week, we are here to discuss whether coincidences exist or is everything a properly calculated, fine-tuned product of all that is in existence and non-existence.
We call this peculiar phenomenon as synchronicity. Nothing happens by accident when your soul gets involved. It is the most intentional presence in your life, whether you recognize its existence or not. Your soul is omniscient and ever present. It informs your decision making through the thoughts and images it provides. It is the essence that fuels your intuition. When you are certain of something, it is your soul's voice that resounds from the depths of psyche. When a mysterious coincidence occurs, it is often the design of your soul's whimsical nature.
And yes, the soul has a sense of humor and often speaks to us through metaphors, symbols, riddles, and clues. These hints require a full investigation in order to uncover their meaning.
Synchronicity is a term that is frequently used to represent the process of experiences coming together and forming some sort of meaning. Synchronistic occurrences are daunting and propel us forward with a brief surge of courage. Their bold luminosity fills us with a sense of awe and wonder, and they leave the fray of untethered questions in our inquisitive minds.
These are unexplained moments. We ask ourselves how certain events aligned in such perfect rhythmic order. We wonder how a circumstance tips in our favor right at the crucial moment we need it most. A person sways into our periphery and offers just the right words to push us from the gate of self-destruction. The 80s songs we were singing in the shower plays on our car radio the same morning. We stare in disbelief before singing it even louder. We wonder if there is someone behind the curtain. Synchronicities are incidences or spiritual significance that ask us to momentarily dampen our self-obsession and consider the possibility of the divine.
Synchronistic experiences leave us with a curious sense that we should pay attention. They happen when our inner worlds of thought and feeling connect with the outer world of people, places, and things. If we think about something and then it appears, there is a mystery involved that is both arcane and fascinating. Perhaps our soul is extending its collaborative spirit so that we may become aware of something that requires attention. Perhaps it is simply a coincidence. This depends wholly on what you are willing to believe.
To claim certainty regarding such an esoteric concept would assert that we ourselves are wiser than the greatest minds of modern psychology. There are many conflicting theories that claim to define the nature of synchronicity. Why does this happen, or rather, how? Scientists perform delicately balanced experiments in an attempt to capture its elusive meaning. Astrologers look to the stars for answers and create vast equations to define its erratic movements. Psychologists argue with physicians and claim jurisdiction over stains of darkened beer. Christian preachers assert God's will, while the chanting mystics dance around the fire.
It was Carl Jung who coined the term synchronicity in the early 1920s. It was one of his most complex and misunderstood concepts, partially because it is an experience that forces people to question their notions of what is rational and scientific. Jung's concept of a synchronistic world was a complex intertwining of linear causality, forming a balance with the unseen energies of the universe, each complementing the others in the realm of the psyche and matter. In this conception, a playful relationship exists between what is seen and unseen. Jung hypothesized that synchronistic events were possibly the manifestations of a specific desire deriving from the humanistic need to heal and grow. He also believed that there were elements of a universal archetypal pattern that helped connect people to the deeper truths of human existence. Jung stated that archetypes are born into consciousness as deliberate and intentional acts of the soul. It is my belief that synchronicities are also messages from this spiritual and authentic part of our being.
To give an example from my life, I had a certain music program and for which I needed a particular book, and I happened to find it 1 week before the program, even though I had this book for the last 15 years. I had read it once before but never paid attention to it because I didn't know the use of it. But now, when I had to play those songs, I literally found it in my house and didn't have to look somewhere else for it.
I believe that synchronistic events are fashioned by the will of the soul. It is the soul's aim to help us restore balance in our psyche. When we are overcome with psychological pain, our soul steps in. When our strong emotions sweep us into the eye of the storm, our soul reaches out in its unconventional ways. In these moments of despair, our soul may appear to the creation of a synchronistic moment. These occurrences are meant to help us pause and recognize that we are still alive. These are the hours when our faith is challenged and we need reassurance the most. Synchronicities are nudges from the deepest places of love that inhabit our psyche. They are torches in the darkest cave of the unconscious that allow us to glimpse that suffering will end, and it always does.
Also, as physics stands at the precipice of a technological quantum revolution, many physicists, philosophers, and even psychologists are grappling more than ever with how quantum mechanics truly reflects our everyday reality, if at all. While entanglement between photons across thousands of kilometers is an experimental reality, what this means for our ideas on cause and effect, the speed of light in the universe, and meaningful correlations remains unclear.
Over the course of his career, Jung described synchronicity in a number of ways: a causal connecting principle, a meaningful coincidence, a causal parallelism, all of which seem vague. But maybe that's the point. I couldn't help but wonder why correlation does not imply causation wasn't more of a guiding philosophy for Jung, as Alanis Morissette once sagely sang about chance and coincidence. It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. It's meeting the man of my dreams and then meeting his beautiful wife. I mean, isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Oh, yes. Also, I would like to read something I came across. When we are aware of the abundance of life, synchronous events unfold in the continuum of time. Love brings together what needs to be brought together.
And now that we know what synchronicity is, the next obvious question is why it does or does not happen to me.
Some experts believe that these coincidences are actually a message from a higher spirit or being trying to offer guidance and to help you. This may be true, but there is still a lot of research needed to confirm that synchronicity is actually a valid concept and that it does actually have some science behind it.
Yes, and also synchronicities can differ from person to person. For example, it may be seeing the number 11 or 22 or 33 come up again and again, and for some others, it can be a particular symbol turning up frequently. Many of us will ponder, why is synchronicity happening to me? But often people don't talk about it, fearing others will think them to be odd or out of touch with reality.
Yeah. Now that we're aware of how synchronicity can help us and why synchronicity is happening in so many aspects of your life, it is time to discover how you can invite more of it.
The first step is to know your personal mission. What is it that drives you as a person, that makes you feel motivated and energetic almost instantly? When you have a clear idea of what is it that you want in your life, you invite more of these meaningful coincidences.
Second, make energy shifts. If you're aiming to invite more love into your life, focus on having loving energy. Remember that synchronicity is actually energy. So when you change your vibration energy, you start attracting more of what you're feeling.
Third, focus on a sign that has a high refresh rate. For instance, number plates on cars. Basically, something that you'll be seeing a lot of in your day. Keep an eye out for anything that feels coincidental.
Fourth, try to have a clear mind always. When your mind is constantly buzzing with thoughts, you'll be less likely to focus on and understand that which comes your way. Start being more mindful and practice living in the moment.
Fifth, when you sense a sign, make sure you follow it. Pay attention to any sign that comes up and analyze and try to look for a deeper meaning. Once you start to follow these signs, you'll notice they come up more frequently.
And at last, just relax and let go. You can't invite synchronicity into your life if you're trying to force it. Just keep going and the signs will come to you on their own. And when they do, make sure you follow them.
We finally have come to the end of this episode. We really did have an in depth look into synchronicity. But before we go, we would like to ask you something.
What do you feel about synchronicity? Do you think synchronicity has ever occurred to you? Or do you just go with the flow and let it be? We would love to know about your story. You can send us your messages on our Instagram page. The link will be in the bio.
Anyway, that's all for today. We gotta go now, but stick around with us for more of such conversations. We will be here every Sunday with a brand new episode. Until then, this was me, Siona.
And I, Jennifer.
Mystic Dummies signing off.